Hey guys, DibtheAwesome here to give you another Monster Legends guides, where we talk about monsters' moves, their kits, their rune sets, all that jazz. Today we're looking at Razul. Alright, so first thing you gotta know about Razul, that he is a self buffing slash team harming asshole. It's yeah, got let's take that again. I mean he is a uh yeah, no, I'm gonna. No, let's just go back to that statement. He is totally a self-bussing, enemy hurting asshole. Uh, uh, but yeah, he's basically Caboose. You ever watch Red versus Blue? He's Caboose. He literally just does a bunch of shit. He blows shit up at the cost of his friend's pain or something like that, or just like Team Fire. This guy is the Team Fire monster in Monster Legends, and I'll explain that in his kit. Uh, this guy can function as a mediocre buffer, but it's not a good buffer. He's not a really good buffer. Just have him stick to attacking. And before we go on, yes, this guy is basically like Barbatos. Uh, I don't know which one. I don't know which one is the better at the end. And I'll probably talk about that when we get to his AOE. But let's just carry on to his stats. So his power is 3,531. That's a really high power. A much needed power to make up for his low damage AoE. And if you hear my cat, just excuse my cat. uh, life is 28,350. That's a pretty okay life. Excuse me. And it's a life worth mentioning. You probably want to shove life runes on this guy. This guy pretty much like think of it like Vampira. You want it to stay out longer more than you want it to have speed, so just slap a life rune on it and 2 damage. Just gonna say that right away. 2 damage and life to keep it out there longer. Because you're not gonna run out anything with that 3,355 speed. This guy is pretty slow. You can also just shove full like strength runes too if you just want to go all out risk taker, friendly fire asshole mode. You can totally do that. That's totally an option for you. uh, the Underworld Rises. This is his ult. Steals life from all targets. May give nightmares to all targets. This is 100% life steal and 60 damage. And it only heals him. This just goes on further of his assholeage. He doesn't heal his allies. He just heals himself. I don't know if his there's a move that really just defines why I'm just saying that he's a self-harming like team harming asshole. But yeah, this is I don't know if that move really affects him. It just has to really be tested out first. Uh, but yeah, this is his AoE lifesteal. This is a really strong ult. It really goes well with his kit, uh, especially if you have triple damage up. Uh, so yeah, we're gonna go on to let's see if there's any important thing here. None of these are really important. All right, Curse Blade deals moderate special damage, applies 2 random negative effects to target. This is a really good. This is one of his better. It's like an attacking move. Slap this move on him. He only has 3 attacks. Attacking moves. You want to slap this move on him. Soul Arise. This is his 30 damage AOE. And it gives nightmares to all targets. This is why he is. This is kind of like a debating thing at the moment of which is better, Barbatos or like this guy, in terms of like dishing out damage, while still self-harming yourself. I don't know if Razul himself actually harms himself. I'm just wondering if he actually just harms his allies. Uh, at that point, uh, it says in the description for his move that makes him like Barbatos is it gives him an extra turn, but at the cost of 50% from all allies. Does that include him or just his allies? That's the thing you really gotta test out when you get this guy, if you get this guy at all. Uh, yeah. So this is why it's kind of a debate because it's only a 30 damage AOE. Uh, and with triple damage, even triple damage has to have some standard. It has to be at least 35, maybe. or 45 for for sure kill, without a doubt. But this says less than that. I don't know how the damage calculation really goes out. Especially keep in mind, people use dark monsters all the time. They use Barbatos. Barbatos is such a common monster. Will Razorface. I don't see Will Razorface all that much. He's a really good monster. But especially in like Team Wars, I don't see this being really helpful. I mean, just like his AoE. I'm not saying like his other two moves. Like in Team Wars, like he can actually just butcher the dark monster after he's done murdering everything else. But yeah, this is an iffy thing. It's something I think you just have to set it up, and then maybe you can wipe out the dark monster if they're not running a life rune. But I'll get to that at the end. Dark Sacrifice removes 25% of life from ally and gives them double damage and precision. This requires cooldown. It's a 1-turn cooldown, and it just gives them 1 turn of double damage and precision at the cost of 25% of their life. Yeah, this is why he's one of the, again, he's like a self-harming asshole. Like him, he's like a team-harming asshole. This isn't like a very helpful move. You're literally just tearing up part of somebody just to give them double damage and precision for 1 turn. Granted, a lot, like most of the time, like like precision, like that's really good. Like double damage plus precision, but like buffers can do this without like tearing a gut through them. Like they don't have to like tear an arm off or a quarter of them just to give them double damage and precision for a turn. In fact, they give them an extra turn of that. They give them 2 turns of double damage and precision. So that's why I recommend him not being a buffer. He's just self harms his attacker. It's not good, and unless you have the right setup. Obviously, if you have like if you have judgment and you use his like healing move, then he can like remove the damage. But again, at that point, wouldn't you just rather just use a double damage plus precision monster anyway? Or I mean, like 2 turn, like their common stuff. But yeah, this isn't a move worth running. Just run the damage set. Totally just disregard this move. It's just not a good move to run in terms of helping your attacker out. And in fact, you don't want your attacker to take any damage, and just this move giving damage to your attacker isn't really a good thing. Ethereal Gash deals heavy special damage, may possess target, requires cooldown. This really doesn't matter all that much because with his, like, again, this is, we're going to just jump ahead to this move because this is the move that really makes him iffy. Removes 50% of life from all targets, gains 1 extra turn, gains triple damage. It really doesn't matter with the possession at this point because if you use Soul Offering, and if you like, you do the AoE and stuff like that, the only like dark monster, the only monster left is the dark monster. This will just finish them off. This will just tear a hole through them or just possess them, and then the dark monster will take care of the rest. That is again if the dark monster isn't immune to possession. But yeah, this is a really heavy damage move. You got to run this move. It's part of his damage set. Strength from the weak removes 25% life from all allies, gives them double damage to target. This is single target possessioning, but you're literally tearing 25%. This time you're tearing 25% from everybody, and you're not even giving the buff to your friends. You're giving it to the enemy. This guy's an asshole. This guy is totally the asshole monster of League of Legends. He's like, he's just an asshole. He just literally takes a quarter of everybody and just gives it to the enemy, and the enemy is so just confused in the matter that he's possessed, and he just feels like beating the crap out of his teammates because he feels guilty about it. But yeah, this is and I want to recommend this move. I mean, like, he's damaging everybody, and you're already gonna use this. If you think about it, you're already using this move that's gonna be tearing like everybody, like tearing like half of them off. You're literally like taking half of somebody. 2 people. I don't know if it's everybody, but you're literally taking half of whatever this really does from everybody. 50% life, that's half your life. You're literally gambling at that point, and you're actually betting on the fact that you can actually wipe them out with Soul Arise. Triple damage. As you know, I think triple damage is really high at the point where you can just call people. But with 30 damage AoE, I don't know at that point. I think it takes at least you need at least double damage 2 to set it off. So this guy's. I'm gonna get to the moveset real quick. You want to run Soul Offering. You want to run Ethereal Gash. You want to run Soul's Arise, and you want to run Cursed Blade. That's the only moveset I only ever recommend you using because everything else is just really risky and self-harming. You might not even land the possession. In fact, you might not even land it. Because there are like like Harden stuff like that. Harden has a chance to actually ignore the possession, and you still get like the double damage, which really sucks. Um, but yeah, just run the attacking set. You will need a buffer. You need a buffer to for sure your victory, or at least just to for sure the massacre. Like you totally want to pair this guy up with Demise. Demise, as you know, gives that extra turn buff. Honestly, if you just do like the AoE double damage plus precision, or just like with Lux, Lux can do this too, double damage plus precision. Then you can set up your triple damage, and now you have double damage plus triple damage, and you will probably for sure kill them if you have A, your ult, or B, if you have obviously if you use Soul's Arise, or just C, you just want to single out somebody, you can use Ethereal Gash, but you probably want to spend that on Soul's Arise just to hurt everybody at that point in hopes and just beating them all. I don't know if it will for sure kill the dark type at that point. I don't know. It depends on the situation, uh, which is it's just kind of an iffy thing. But if it does like KO like dark monsters too, that's a good thing. I actually recommend you run like really high level strength runes, just to ensure the KO too, and all that jazz. With higher level runes, I'm sure this guy's just a monster to deal with. Uh, and yeah, I think that's all that really needs to be said. Um, if you guys are wondering who do I think is better, Barbatos or Razul, um, I don't know. With Razul, like with Barbatos, he doesn't hurt everybody; he's just hurting himself. With Razul, he's hurting everybody. I don't know if he hurts himself too, but yeah, just keep that. It's totally. Uh, Yeah, like Barbatos is a more safer option because Barbatos like has a higher base damaging move. I should like Master of Pain is like 75 damage. Nothing can really compete with that. Uh, Barbatos himself can just kill people really easily with like the double damage, 75 damage move. He doesn't really need anything else. In fact, he doesn't even need anyone to set up for him. He sets himself up. Uh, Yeah, in that regard, I think like in terms of like without hurting everybody, Barbatos is better. But in terms of just like if you actually set it up, if they both had the same setup, except like Barbatos doesn't have the triple damage, I think Razul wins at just obliterating, because now he has like double damage plus triple damage under his belt, which is pretty devastating. And with Barbatos, you can't do that. You can't have Barbatos have triple damage at the same time unless you know you're running uh well, even at that point, no, you can. Yeah, it would be really hard. You have to wait another turn in order to set it up. I was thinking like you could run like with calliech, you can have calliech AOE immune to like freeze or stun, and you can have pair him up with Fenrir, and then you can do the triple damage. But you actually have to wait a turn so Barbatos can set up his double damage, and then you can apply the triple damage. That's the real thing with those monsters. With that setup. So in terms of just like instant like death setup, I think Razul wins at that. Uh, but in terms of like accuracy, like Barbatos is more accurate. Uh, Razul can only be accurate if the buffer, but like buffs him first. He needs another setup to set him up. And all that's really all that is to it. Is he worth 250? If you have Barbatos, I wouldn't recommend it. Uh, but you can, again, go ahead if you like him. I would also like to add, like, this guy also has a better trait than Barbatos. He is immune to possession. And we're probably going to see more of that on and on, like, more commonly nowadays with Demise being out with her ultimate. And that's all I really need to say about Razul. I'm DibtheAwesome. I'll catch you guys later.